This lesson we're going to be learning You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. The intro sounds like this. And then it goes into a part of the intro still, but it's verse material as well. And then there's a chorus, basically. Okay, so those are the main parts. We're going to do the solo in another lesson for those people who want to dive into that. So let's take a look at the intro. It's all tabbed out. Make sure you listen to it. It's always important to listen. So we're going to start with, I'm very specifically going to play the 3rd fret B string and the 3rd fret high E string with these 2 fingers, 2nd finger and 3rd finger, because I got to reach up here with my pinky. You could bar this, but I like to do it because I don't have to shift it all when I play this note here on the 2nd fret. You'll see coming. So it's I'm strumming the D, G, B, and high E string. And then I hit 4 strokes on the D and G string. 5 strokes, sorry. Then I hit all 4, but I put my pinky on the 5th fret of the high E string. Then you go take it off, just hit the B and high E strings on the 3rd fret. Then you arpeggiate them. So we got I'm going to turn down just a little bit. Just like that. Then you do another arpeggiation with, then you're going to lift your 3rd finger off and go to the 2 back here with your index finger on the high E string. And then pick the 3rd fret B string that you're still holding down with your 2nd finger, and then the open D string. And then you're going to form a D5 chord. It's like a D major chord, but you don't need your 2nd finger because we're just going to pick the D, G, and B strings. A little tricky. So it's basically a G chord to a D chord. Okay, then from there, we're going to do a little quarter bend. I'm going to leave my 1st finger and 3rd finger right where they are. So we're just bending that a quarter bend, the 3rd fret of the D string. Okay, and then we're going to do, and that's 3rd fret D string, 4th, a hammer onto the 4th fret D string. Then I'm picking a D open power chord, D and G string I'm picking. 1st fret's on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then 3rd fret, D string, pull off to open. So it's a little tricky, but it's not terrible. So let's try it again. That's the first half of the intro. One more time, nice and slow. Then you do the same thing again. But this time we let that D chord ring out. Just a little out of tune there. Okay, so on the second one, you just let the D ring out. It's basically the same thing. One time through the whole intro. And you hold that out, and then we're into, still the intro, there's no vocal, but it's the same as the verse. And it starts with a G. And most of the time in the song, the G is going to be played like this. So you don't need the high E string. You're going to put your third finger on the third fret of the B string, right there. And not really even worry about the high E string too much. I'm kind of just letting my third finger mute it, okay? So it's going to be G, and then C, G, C, G, D. That's that D5 without the second finger down. So it's kind of a quick change from the C to the G. Now, Malcolm's playing a little bit different chord fingering for that. So if you go G, you could just play your C by dropping these two fingers down like that, which is what basically this is the type of C chord that you're going to play in the chorus. So it's a little easier. And then your third finger never moves at all. It can just stay right there on the third fret of the B string. And the second half of that is G, D, G, D, G, and that's the beginning of the next time around. So one time through. And that's it. Again, it just repeats that through the verse until a little build up before the chorus. So. Just keep doing that. And at the end of the chorus, or the verse, it's just a little build up on D. So it's D, and then you add your pinky on the third fret of the high E string to make like a D sus4 for the second bar of that build up. You'll see it there in the tab. And that leads us into the chorus. Okay, so it's just like that. All downstrokes. And that leads us into the chorus. The chorus, same thing with the G, third finger on the third fret of the B string. So we're going to do low note and then the whole chord. And then back into the verse. So the chorus. Open A, little climb up. Open A, second fret A string to this C chord. So it's. So we're picking bass note and then G and B string. Drop the bass note back to the second fret. And then to our D. And then you do the same thing again. G. And sometimes it does it twice, and sometimes it does it 4 times. But that's it for the chorus. And then back to the verse. Okay, so other than that, there is a little bit different part in the solo that Malcolm is playing underneath the solo. So let me pull that up. Let's see here. Okay, so it's basically the same chord progression as the chorus, but it's broken down with just power chords. It sounds like this. And then it's like regular chorus material, but it's really staccato. So it's just a G power chord. I'm playing with my first finger and my pinky because of this different kind of chord we're going to see here in a second. So it's just real short and choppy. So you're going to cut it off with your palm. And open A, B, 2nd fret A string to a C power chord. Then we're just going to drop your first finger back 1 fret, but leave your pinky there. And that's implying basically a G chord with no root, but it's the 3rd and the 5th. For those of you theory, people interested in theory. So, and then up to a D power chord. So that's 5th fret A string, 7th fret D string. Then you do the same thing. Okay, so far we got and then this time it's more like the chorus, so it starts to open up. It's just like the chorus, okay? So let me just play all the way through Malcolm Young's part during the solo. And then from there, I think Brian Johnson comes back in with the vocal. So that's pretty it. There's a little tag thing at the very end of the tune where it ends with them just playing a D chord. So you're coming out of the chorus. Let's see. That's how it ends. So it's just riding on that D5 chord. So you'll have to listen to it for the arrangement or reference the chart that I've made for you there. So that's pretty much it. It's actually a more simple tune than you think. Other than the intro is a little tricky. And again, if you're not comfortable with that fingering that I suggested there, you can bar it. It's just you have to switch here. it's just easier for me to just have to lift my fingers. So if you want to change that a little bit, that's fine. But that's pretty much it. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at the solo, Agnes' solo. It's actually a fairly easy solo for him. So we'll check that out in the next lesson.